What works for the new BMW doesn't work for this BMW, unfortunately.
Welcome back to episode 4 of HER build series. And today we are going to jump into our suspension build and we're gonna have some fun with this one. So in episode 3, you saw the craziness unfold over the 3 weeks of building and dropping in this engine. In week 1 of the engine build, before all the craziness, Chris and I installed the front and rear subframes, and then we did a walkthrough of the foundation of our CS suspension construction. We started this off by pulling the front and rear subframes and fully reinforcing them, stitch welding the weak points, plating the stress zones, and powder coating everything for long-term strength. So Chris and I were installing the front and rear subframes today.
Mock-up springs and shocks for now just to get the car rolling.
We just wanted to get this all installed and walk you guys through what we've done.
Yeah.
In the rear, we focused on rigidity and adjustability. So we reinforced and seam welded the rear semi-trailing arms. These aren't your normal trailing arms. The angled pivot naturally manages camber through cornering and is already a step up from the simple single pivot design that's standard in other cars. But they still flex under big load. To fix that, we strengthened them and added DTM-style spherical camber and toe adjusters, replacing the stock rubber with precise race car level hardware. We also installed StimTech rear trailing arm gussets. These are weld-in plates designed to reinforce the damper attachment point and the hub body. These are ideal when running true coilovers or race dampers, and they significantly stiffen the factory arms so they can survive real track forces. And while we were there, we reinforced the thin sway bar tabs so that it can handle a larger bar and higher load transfer.
We have a standard subframe. Besides beefing up some of the welds and some of the weak points on it, it's pretty much stock. The car does have camber and toe, but we went with the DTM-style camber and toe adjustment, which is a little different from what you typically see on the eccentrics, on the street cars where they're on the subframe.
So normally that adjustment is here.
Yeah, it's an
right?
eccentric bolt, and it gives you camber here, toe out here. They're a pain in the ass to work with. This is actually a little easier to adjust. Pretty much a stock subframe, AKG bushings. Now this trailing arm bushing, where normally it would be like a dowel arm bushing or something, this is actually like a pillow ball bearing in there with sleeves so that it can articulate when you adjust the suspension. And all the adjustment gets done from this contraption here. So you have this long bolt, which is your camber, and then you have this big beefy trailing arm bolt essentially, because that's what's connecting it. And then that one is what will adjust your toe. And then we reinforced it, the trailing arm, from it flexing, and then we added the shock mount reinforcement. These are from StimTech. Our company StimTech makes these and they're great, so I bought these from them.
But you fabbed onto
we welded it all up.
Yeah,
we welded it all up, added the AKG sway bar tab reinforcement. So that pretty much sums up the rear, other than, you know, rebuilt axles and things like that.
All right, up front, we then reinforced the engine mount pockets and the sway bar mounting points, 2 classic E30 weak spots that crack once you stiffen the suspension or add power. Reinforcing them now keeps the chassis from tearing itself apart later. We also installed the steering rack from BMW Z3. Now the Z3 steering rack tightens the steering ratio, giving the E30 quicker turn-in and more modern, responsive feel. It reduces the lock-to-lock movement and makes the car far more precise on track. A simple upgrade with pretty big impact.
Reinforced, powder coated from subframe, Z3 steering rack, mock-up control arms, like we were talking about. We don't know where we want to set your caster and do all of that stuff, so
Still figuring that out.
So we're still figuring that stuff out.
Cool, man.
It's definitely going to be something spectacular. Next step after this, we're going to drop in the engine and get the drivetrain fully installed.
And we all know how that went. After having addressed the key connecting points and subframes, we moved on to assembling the hubs and brakes. Brembo, baby. Rotors. Wow. Oh yeah. Subtle black calibers, baby. We used E36 hubs and then fabricated a custom E36 M3 Brembo GT kit. Those Brembo rotors were the largest rotors Chris had ever put onto an E30 M3. So it was time to install our new coilovers. We are running two-way adjustable MCS racing coilovers in the front and rear. In addition to adjusting ride height, two-way adjustability gives us independent control over compression and rebound. Compression meaning how well a car absorbs bumps, and rebound meaning how quickly it resets after the bump. This level of control lets us dial in grip, balance, and weight transfer far more precisely than single adjustable setup.
It usually pops in right when you're gonna give up.
Oh, hot damn. Jeez, bro. There it goes. Okay. That's it?
Yep. All right. You're welcome.
So we've been waiting hella long for our MCS coilovers. I think for like 7 months. But today we're putting them in the car and it is so close. To tell you a little bit about the MCS, they were worth the wait because they are two-way, adjustable, full-on race spec coilovers and suspension. GC put them together for us and yeah, they're looking pretty sick. Now that's some eye candy. You wanna know what else is eye candy? Our official HER merchandise. We're talking jackets, hoodies, t-shirts, you name it. And for all of you in need of a last-minute Christmas gift, we have our luxury car care kit. This is complete with our glass cleaner, our interior cleaner, our leather care, as well as an amazing leather carrying case. The perfect gift for the gearhead in your life. Now back to the car. All right, after installing the brakes and the brake lines, we are bleeding it in, baby. As you can see right there, we're gonna take that whole reservoir, put it into the brakes.
Push it down.
All right, so we just finished install of the struts, front and rear suspension. We finished install of the brakes, the rotors, everything. We bled the brakes. Now we're moving on to sway bars. So gonna install the front here now. Adam had to build some brackets for the front sway bar, get everything kind of ready. And then the rear's a lot simpler, but we're going, almost done.
It looks like it fits. 30s originally. It's a hook here with a small little bushing.
It was also time to add some final finishing touches to the body before getting the car transported to Utah. So we installed the carbon fiber front splitter, the carbon fiber side skirt extensions, and we also installed the adjustable rear carbon fiber gurney flap. Beautiful, beautiful. It's probably gonna be right about there. I don't think it can go further than this, Adam, right?
I'll make the holes furthest back I can.
Uh-huh.
So it's probably gonna be
Right there.
right about there.
Yeah, that'll look good. And provide the downforce that we want in the front.
Yeah, so you have it here and then it kind of goes in flush.
Got our gurney flap so we can adjust this. For wheels, we went with DTM-inspired F3 wheels to honor the E30's racing heritage. The original DTM cars ran lightweight multi-spoke designs for rigidity and brake cooling, which provided that tuck under the fender look that became so iconic in the 80s with the M3 silhouette. Since we're building what could have been a top-tier CS trim in the 80s, using wheels rooted in BMW's DTM history just made sense. It's exactly the kind of motorsport cue BMW would have deployed into a special model like this. Big shout out to Chris over at F3 for these one-of-a-kind wheels. One of my favorite pieces is our custom HER gauge cluster. It's all about the details. All right, so we just finished up the suspension, the brakes, we got everything ready, and I just wanted to take a minute to show you the sick work that we've done with the suspension. So we got MCS coilovers, GC ground control strut tubes, and then up here at the top, we've got our camber adjustment, camber plate. And so I just want to tell you about camber, caster, and toe. Suspension tuning and alignment can be broken down into three main categories: camber, caster, and toe. Camber is the tilt of the wheel when viewed from the front. More negative camber means the wheel leans inward, helping the tire to stay flat on the road during hard cornering. This gives us more grip. Caster is the angle of the front suspension when viewed from the side, and most performance cars run positive caster. It improves high-speed stability, gives us better steering feel, and adds camber as we turn. This helps the car to bite into the corner even harder. And then there's toe, the direction the wheels point when viewed from above. Toe in means wheels point slightly toward each other. Toe out means they point away. Even small changes in toe can completely change how sharp, stable, or twitchy the car feels on track. After months of preparation, hard work, and way too much money, our E30 M3 CS was finally ready to drive. So it was actually time to take this car home and see what she could do. Chris was gracious enough to meet us at the ass crack of dawn after trailering our car all the way from California for a proper dyno run. What's up, dude? So we got the car here to Utah, got it on the dyno. We're about to see what this thing can do. We were just talking with Joel, who's our tuner, local tuner, but we're not trying to max this thing out and blow this motor. Obviously we overbuilt with forged internals and everything, but not go for max power. So we're gonna see what this thing pushes out. I figured the dyno would be the easiest part of the build so far. I was wrong. So the main issue is we don't have the right cabling, or the right.
So a lot of cars, a lot of different ECUs require different cables.
Well, it works for the new BMW, doesn't work for this BMW.
Well, it works for the new BMW, doesn't work for this BMW.
So Tyler told me that we were just data logging the car. He didn't mention anything about tuning. So I didn't bring anything to flash the ECU. So I brought a generic data logger that should be able to plug into most vehicles. The problem is like yours is probably right at the cutoff line, but when they switched over to CAN bus and when they were still using like the old ECU protocol, so it requires that older cable.
Unfortunate news, we got here, got everything strapped down, and we don't have the right cable for to get the data log from the ECU. So apparently our tuner just didn't totally know what year car we were dealing with. In hindsight, which we would have taken control of that communication. So we were kind of communicating through another person. He's getting connected to the ECU, but he's not able to read it. It's a generation too new to actually read the data. So we're just troubleshooting right now and trying to figure out what the hell to do. So yeah.
The flash tools are like Pokemon.
Yeah.
You have to collect them all.
Yeah.
Because not every flash tool does every car.
So what do you have?
Well, I have 3 of them. I only brought 2 today, but they're like $6,000 a piece.
Okay. So we might get lucky.
We might get lucky with this.
Maybe it'll work.
There it is. It says OBD flashing is in beta. I would have to email them to ask for that, but it seems like data logging might be available. Let's plug in and find out. It's not detecting anything at the OBD port. So it says make sure you have internet, make sure you're plugged in at the OBD port, make sure the engine is running. All 3 of those are going on, but we're not getting anything. Yeah, no signals at the OBD port for either cable so far.
We have like 4 of them at the shop, but it's not something we ever give to the customer.
and it's for all the older cars now. So like
you put me in such an uncomfortable situation. Like, you know I'm not happy. You know I'm trying to see if it'll work out.
All right, so quick update. So we can't necessarily get the data log. We can't necessarily adjust the tune because we don't have the right cable, but we can break in the engine. We can still do the dyno. We can still get our boost.
Basically, what we want to do is we want to make sure, because of the elevation changes, we want to make sure that the car is going to be safe while in boost.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a huge problem while in boost. Drivability is going to suck, like I told you. But at least we're going to be able to break in the engine.
Yeah.
Make sure it's safe.
Yeah.
Check AFR.
Yeah.
And do what we got to do. And then you get a cable. You can just do this all over again, fine tune it.
To be honest, I was not ready to totally give up on being able to find a way to get the ECU tuned and dialed in before our track shakedown. The benefits of having friends at the track is, even when we have an issue like not having the right cable at the dyno, we've got friends like this, Ian Lacey Racing. You can see an amazing garage. They've got the cable, and so we're good. We're gonna make this happen today, so. Good news, good news. Problem solved, or so I thought.
Any data logging software won't work on a swap computer.
Okay.
So you can't data log. So
That's why my tools won't connect.
Yeah.
Not because they can't, because they won't.
So even if we get the cable, it's still...
The cable will only allow you to flash.
Oh, I'm fine. It's just that life is pointless and nothing matters.
He said that every 1 out of 50
needs to be diagnosed. We only do it when the cars have issues. So honestly, all we want to do is break in the engine and see where the AFR is. Okay. Those are my main important things. I know that the car's not going to blow up.
So should we still try to have the cable and see what you can do with it?
The thing is,
if it'll let us read out the ECU.
Yeah, you can read out the ECU and you can make changes if you have software
just
to make
have him grab it then, just in case.
If he's going to get it, we might as well have him get it.
For sure.
Might as well try and see what you can do to make an adjustment if we need to. And oh, did we need to? Can we get started?
Yeah.
And then once he comes with the cable, we can make adjustments.
break in the engine and we can do a couple pulls. And
All right, let's do that. So while we waited for the cable to arrive, we went through a series of RPM pulls to get the engine broken in. And then, okay, so a lot has happened in the last 2 hours. We're sitting at 3 hours here. Basically, already walked you through what happened. We kind of gave up on being able to data log and adjust the tune. But then when we actually did our first pull, we just found that the car was running way too rich, which can, you know, slip rings and do all kinds of damage to the car. So we paused and we're like, we have to be able to do a tune. We have to change this. So we just called all the people that we knew, and TJ, a good friend of ours here, was able to get his tuner, his remote tuner in, and like luck of the draw. So he right now is already in the ECU. We got the car started. We're about to do the first pull and give him some initial data, and then he'll make a tweak, get some more data on another pull, and then he'll make a tweak. And so we'll just do that until we're dialed in. The day has been saved, and we're gonna get this car ready and on the track. Let's see what it did. 509 horsepower. Dreams really do come true, guys. Here at the dyno, we hit 509 horsepower. This puts our E30 right where we want it to be to bring the fight to the 2024 M3 CS. Our E30 CS's incredible, now proven power to weight ratio might just be the secret weapon in defeating the G80 in the straights. But how will it do in the corners?
The brakes, they got hot quick. for me, it was a little bit rough. There's gonna be some sacrifices.
Hearing this car rev to 8K RPMs for the first time was, I mean, dare I say, a spiritual experience. I'm beyond stoked at the power figures, but man, this thing not only is drop dead beautiful, but sounds incredible. Drop us a like if you enjoyed the video and consider subscribing so you don't miss any future episodes. So if you're new with us, be sure to click on this video where you can see episode 1 and the original showdown with the G80 on the track, and click on this video if you want to watch the engine build episode. Thanks so much for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.